Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader at thetechtrader.com. It's Tuesday, April the 30th. These are the charts of the day. Last day of April, going into May, the eyes of May. No, that's March, that's right. I'm going to go over some charts today that look quite juicy. Most of these stocks are starting to move, break out, move to resistance. For example, ASYS, which I put a swing on when it popped and pulled back, then ran up a little bit and backed off one more time to retest, but today reversed 22 cents at 3.5%. Nothing big, but it looks to me like the pattern may have tried to complete this little flag in here and move back up to test the 7.1520 range. If we get through that, 8.5 3/4 and 10.5 is my target. Up next is BE. Yesterday popped out a big volume. Today kind of had an inside day. Didn't quite break out yet, but I'm still looking for this stock to make a move across 14. When it does that, we should see 15.5, 16.5, and as much as 20. BRKS exploded today with a big move of 5.15 or 16% on 1.8 million. Strong breakaway move. It should lead to at least a test, in my opinion, of up this area about 39.5 3/4. You get to that, you're looking at a much bigger stock down the road in the low to mid 40s, if not even low to mid 50s. CGC with a big pop in the morning. Well, should I say, tried to pop in the morning, got up to 52.74. That's a new rally high, the highest level since back in October. And even though it pulled back, I'm confident that this stock, it wants to go higher. The whole group feels like it wants to go higher. We'll just have to see if there's a follow through. And if there is, my target's at 55.5 and 60 plus. CRSP, well, with this inverse head and shoulders, I was tempted to put a swing trade on it today, and I did. Although the stock backed off from 43 to 40.19, it was actually down 9 cents on the day. So that's disturbing, but not an end game for me. I like to see what it does in the next day or two, whether it backs and fills. Today's high of 43, if that's taken out, 47 and 54 are your targets. FormFactor, beautiful long-term chart. From the inverse head and shoulders back in 2013-14, this stock has moved up steadily from 4 to 19. Now, if you see the recent action today, the highest close on this one since in 10 years. So I'm looking for a move now that takes us up to about 22.3. That's my next target. Grayscale Bitcoin Trust popped out about a month ago. It's been backing and filling, but a very bullish configuration in my mind. Longest support around the 598, 5.6 zone holds, I'm good. And if this stock takes the double top out at 7.5, I'll be looking for 8 3/4 and almost 10. NBRB with a pop on good volume took out the wedge today and might very well quickly test 3 1/4. We get through that, 365 and 450 are targets. OII, that's Oceaneering, a driller, oil and gas equipment services. You can see that this had a really key resistance level that it popped out of today. And your next target would be a test right there. That was actually tested as well today and backed off of it. Now we get to that level, we could see the stock at least 23 in my opinion up here. And 22.5, 23 would be my target. PI had an exceptional day, exploding for 757 to 35% on 2.6 million, big volume and big breakaway move. But is it one of these moves? Or is it going to be a move that starts that trend? Well, this stock has been up for a month, basically, from 16 to 29. And looking at the long-term chart, you can see where there's a big gap in here, so it should fill that. That target is 33. Secondary target is up here about 40. Right there, 41. QD, one of our swing trades. This is a beautiful base. I love the inside day and the positive volume. I think the stock wants to go higher. I'm looking for 7 3/4, 9 and 10. Looks good. Sanmina with a big pop breakout of this entire 3-month consolidation range and at resistance. So this needs to take out 35.5 to have an energy enough to get out towards 40. Chinese stock Sohu broke out of its major decline channel through the 50. And it's had a 2-day rush on big volume. There's going to be resistance right there, right at about the 22 3/4, 23 zone. We get through that, and you're looking at 27.8. Twitter popped, pulled back, and today popped again, but it did back off the highs of the day. Nevertheless, a good chart, and I'm still looking for a move to 47 and 52. VIPS holding the trend line right there, punching right back up to the 870 range, which is resistance here. We get through that, we're looking at 10 and 11.5. Verona's popped too, is big time, up 433 or 6.5%. 1.75 million, the second biggest volume day we've had in a year. And on a breakout move, I like the way this sets up. Although there is going to be some overhead resistance going across that zone between, let's call it 81 and 84. China broke out of a wedge today, and it really had a nice pop of 279 or 6%. Now being close to or at all-time highs, right there. Got to get to that 49 range to make a more significant move into the low 50s. ZYME, Zymeworks, broke out of a space today. Actually yesterday and followed through today with another 4% gain. Looks to me like the target now has to be about 23 3/4. And finally, Zyme, been up 7 days in a row, and coming out of that wedge, a beautiful increasing volume and OBV type move, although it may be long in the tooth at resistance. You may need to back and fill and set up a better entry opportunity. For now, this is HB signing off. Have a great evening, everyone. Let's make some money tomorrow, and I'll talk to you then. Good night.